Hello, sword people. Today we'll be going over the top 5 tips for finding a HEMA club. So you might be wondering, why start HEMA? Well, the first reason is that it keeps you active, not just for your body, but also for your mind. Everyone knows that in fencing you want to be athletic and be able to move fast and react quickly, but you also get to train your mind not only for reaction time, but also you get to strategize against your opponents. You can go over historical manuals and try to synthesize new techniques based off of your study. The second reason is the community. Meeting new people and creating friendships is always valuable for any kind of hobby. And I've never personally been in a situation where I was felt unwelcomed or uncomfortable within HEMA. Also, the accessibility due to the lack of professionality and money in HEMA means that in comparison to other sports and other hobbies, you can come out as a well-respected member of the community with not too much effort. That might sound like an insult, but it's actually a very good thing because it means that you can put hobbyist amounts of effort in something, but still feel like you're going to be well known and well integrated into the community without having to spend hundreds and thousands of hours just for some people to know your name. So I think that's a kind of an underrated aspect of HEMA. And the last reason, which is the most important, is that swords are cool. So tip number 1 is first to find a club that has a community of open-minded people. Even if the school itself is rigid, you can find people in the club who may want to study the same things as you. So even if you go to a longsword school, for instance, you can still probably find some people that might be interested in rapier for you to be able to not just spar with, but to also talk about what you're studying or some inspiration for some things that you can work on yourself. And you can always make smaller study groups within a club to best fit your specific interests. If this is not possible, then practicing any form of fencing will still help you improve your overall skill and assist you in your own study. So if worst comes to worst, you can't find a HEMA school, but you can find a sport fencing school. Believe me, that will still help you overall. And if you can take what you learn from that school into your own study and fencing, then once you go to another HEMA school or go to a HEMA tournament, I think that you should do very, very well. Tip number 2 is that you should find a club with instructors with a passion for HEMA. Some instructors will vary in their amount of dedication to HEMA and should not be faulted for it, but it is best to find one that matches your level of dedication. Too little dedication and you may find yourself stunted and hungry for more, but too much and you may become burnt out or feel pressure to take the hobby to places where you didn't want to take it. It might be too serious or it might be too competitive, and that might not be what you want. You can gauge this based off of the instructor enthusiasm, their activity within HEMA, their knowledge of recent HEMA events or news, and of course the work that they put into fostering the fencing in their own club. Tip number 3 is that you can make friends with them. So it sucks to be really into something, but the people who also aren't people that you like. Few things are best done alone, and feeling like you're a part of a team is crucial to enhancing your experience within HEMA. If there's bullying, hazing, or any other forms of harassment present at the club, then it probably isn't going to be worth it to tough it out and potentially begin hating something you really wanted to enjoy. Tip number 4 is making sure that your HEMA club aligns with your personal goals, sport, study, martial art, choreography, etc. So I know before I said if you find a longsword club that you really want to do rapier, then you should try to make a study group within it. But another important thing is not just the kind of events that your club does, but also what is their focus. So some clubs are going to be more about the study, delving into the historical manuals and synthesizing techniques based off of interpretation, whereas others are really emphasizing the sport aspect where they want to dial in their fencing in a way where they can win competitions more often. And then there's others that might focus on the martiality of it, so trying to kind of role play fencing as a stand-in for quote unquote real combat. And then there's even some clubs that are focused on historical choreography. So for stage combat or film, there are some clubs that really want to figure out a way to make it look not just good, but also semi-historical or fully historical. So finding a club that kind of fits those goals that you might have will really help you. And you can go into a club that has different goals than you. It will still help you for sure. But if you have the option for a choice, it's really nice to be able to find one that really suits your needs. All right, the last tip that I have is to make sure you can afford it. So HEMA is not profitable and is already expensive. So you don't want to really make yourself a pauper just to have fun in something. I'm not telling you how to live your life, right? But if going to a HEMA club is going to make it hard to pay rent, like even though you might enjoy it, it's going to detract from other aspects of your life and probably make your life more stressful in the long run. However, loaner gear at a club can make the initial years much cheaper if the price is low. Like a mask can be $90 or plus, it can be hundreds of dollars. A gambeson is at least $200. Good gloves for longsword are $200 plus. Good leg retention is $120. Anatomical protection can be $40. And then the sword is probably going to be $300 to $500. So even on the low end, you can kind of expect to pay $950 to more than $1,000 easily from the start. But a HEMA club, especially one that's less than $60 a month, and a lot of them tend to be in the $20, $30 range per month, can be a very good deal. And it will take about like a couple of years of fencing before you start to feel like you're losing money rather than getting a good deal. All right, some closing statements before we finish up. So if you cannot find a HEMA club on your own, you can always use Discord, Reddit, Facebook, Instagram, whatever you need to do to find like-minded people. Even if you can't find people to spar and practice with one-on-one or like in person or anything like that, you can still message, talk, or interact with people outside of where you live in order to, just have fun, interact with the community, ask questions and things like that. Remember, no matter what, you should keep active, you should study, you should practice, and talk to as much people as you can. Even on Facebook, you can talk to experts online, even if they're kind of fake experts, but they still might give you some inspiration or some new ideas to help you go over the manuscripts you're reading or any of the techniques you're trying to try out. Another thing to keep in mind is that some adversity is good. Hard work and seeing the fruits of your labors is always an amazing feeling, and it will help you feel accomplished and willing to continue your fencing journey. But if you feel like you need a break, sometimes you just should take one. Even too much of a good thing can still be bad. So I want you always to pace yourself and do the things that you kind of enjoy. This is all for fun. There's no need to go through endless suffering just to get like a plastic medal that you can buy off of Purple Heart at any time. So know what kind of goals you want, know what you kind of want from HEMA, and based off of that, frame how you want to go through this hobby. And of course, as everyone knows, and maybe you don't know, there is a HEMA Club Finder provided to us by the HEMA Alliance, I believe. So you can always use that as a resource to help you find a HEMA club close to you. Do keep in mind, some of those HEMA clubs are not always active, so make sure to message them first before you just try to drop in for a class and find out that they had dissolved like a couple years ago, like during COVID or something like that. So, all right, that's all I got to say for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you'll watch the next one. See ya.